Hey, it's Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's June 24th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and you can see there's still an hour to go before the market closes, but as of now, we're pushing to recent new highs. We're very close to testing market all-time highs, as you can see here, just looking at the daily chart. This is a daily chart now, and we're very close to all-time highs up here. So not very long ago, they were claiming this market was done and was about to crash and was going to sell off, and everybody was going to lose their retirements. And here we are pushing very close to all-time highs again. So never underestimate this market. It just keeps wanting to climb higher, and we've been working sideways here, and now we've broken higher. Now, will we sustain this breakout? It's hard to say. We're getting back into overbought territory, so we're kind of overbought again now. So we'll have to see what happens, but we definitely had follow through buying today. We'll see if we get more tomorrow. My guess is we're going to try to retest these previous range highs here and maybe even the all-time highs. Now, whether or not we can do that, that's to be seen, because if you notice, we do have a channel working up here, and we did get a close outside, and we've made a new high here. So we could turn down tomorrow, and this thing could work sideways some more or reverse. Anything could happen, because I do believe one of our both of these channels is now played out. Or I wouldn't say they've played out yet, but they've met their criteria to be coming to an end. So, but we could be back in the range, and it doesn't matter. We may just be range bound again. So, and we could even start a new channel here and work higher. A lot of things could happen still. So, but just be aware that these two channels have now met the criteria that they could be played out, and we could see a reversal or more sideways action. So uh, anyway, there it is on the daily chart, another bullish day. Again, still about an hour to go in the market, so it could close differently than what you see now. So we'll have to see how it ends up closing, but as of now, it looks like we're going to close higher. So we're certainly trading higher. But anyway, let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll go through the trades and um, see what the market had to offer today. Okay, here's our 2000 tick chart. You can see we had another two legs up again today. The second leg was nothing. We didn't quite make a measure. I mean, we could still in the next hour. Wouldn't I mean I wouldn't say we couldn't go another 40 points higher. So it could still happen, but now it doesn't look like we're going to get two measured legs up. So this one probably, since it was a spiking channel, this channel starts right there. So that might be more realistic. We might even make that one. We'll see. Either way, we still have the leg up, the sideways correction, and another leg up. And this is very mild. I mean, it continues to go, and it's very flat. Not really a strong trend, like as strong as what it was earlier. And you can see here we had an overshoot, which led to a break, and then we had two legs up here to a new high. I'll mark these so you can see them. And again, we didn't quite make two measured legs there either. So, but that's not uncommon. I mean, I would say that's close enough to say we had a break and two legs up. And we had a big hint that we would probably get a break right here because we had a big overshoot. And I do believe that's an overshoot. I drew it both ways, and I mean, you could argue that maybe this channel's wider, but and it still fits there rather nicely. But to me, it just looks like an overshoot from the original channel working up. So there it is. Let's zoom in here and we'll go through the trades. Not a lot of them today, so this won't take long. It's kind of a quiet day. 7 o'clock came, and I think it was just actually on this previous bar here. Yeah, 7:01 came on this green bar here, and we failed to go higher. And you can see we had easily had a triple test there. And that's also a second entry short. I like going short there. Just put your sell stop one tick below that bar, and it was a quick, easy move to the lows. And then we're just kind of chopping sideways again. I don't see anything there. You can really trade in either direction. And then we ran back up here. Note there was a second entry short here, and I'm pretty sure that would have worked if you'd have taken it, but we're not back to the highs. So, I mean, there's 2.5 points, so there's plenty of room there. I'm not crazy about taking that. I think because really we don't get a convincing close outside until here, and then you get a correction. And you also had even if you count that as a break, you got 2 legs up, and then it turned down right off the original line. Now, if you went short there, I mean, actually at this point you could have argued that maybe this was even lower, like right here. And if you do that, then you probably want to go short there if you have it like that. So I wouldn't say there was anything wrong with going short there. It just depends on where you drew your line, and your chart could look slightly different. But you can see we were coming up, we were a little low here, so you had to adjust this at some point. And really, I usually use the place where you get the most touches with closes, and that's going to be right there, and that puts it on this bar. I mean, that's still really close right there. But honestly, I think that's probably the better spot right there. Even I think I had mine 1 tick higher than that previously, but I even like that better. And either way, it still gets you short on this one, and that's the key one. And you probably get a runner on this, and this runs all the way to the other side. Nice, easy trade. There was a higher low here. I meant to mark that one. You could actually argue. I was going to give it a green, but you could actually argue that to be blue. You're back you had a failed breakout and then a higher low, another quick, easy scalp, and then you had another triple test there and a second entry short. So I think you could just reverse there. Generally, it's hard for people to do that, even good, strong traders, because you go long here and you're thinking long and you're locked into long. But if you can really read the chart and you understand what's going on and you see that triple test and it's a second entry short, nothing wrong with going short there. Because we may want to come back and retest that again, and you see it didn't hold. We got another breakout. Then it comes back and there's another higher low here again, but this is really your signal bar. Let me zoom in here a little bit. This one is your signal bar, and so this one doesn't qualify, so you can't take that one. It runs to a new high, and you actually get a close outside the new high, and it just keeps working higher. And the key is we're probably working back to the upper side of the range, and that's what you would expect to happen there. So actually, this looks like this might be better right there. Looks like the best spot for it. I don't think that signal bar qualifies. Neither does that one. Then we come down here and you actually get a triple test down here. And this is a first entry, second entry. So I like going, and it's also off this possible trend line. So I like going long right there just to look for a scalp. But it might go only to here and turn down, but it might run much higher. And probably need to draw this trend channel as well, because I guarantee you somebody's going to say, well, what about short here? Because you did test that 3 times, but you can see you're still in this uptrend channel, and you get a break at a new high, and then you could go short if you had a setup, but you don't get a setup there. This is your signal bar. It's too bullish, and then next thing you know, we're reversed and we're going higher again. We did bounce off the highs here, but I think you need at least a double, if not a triple test, to go long up here. Now, if it comes back to the trend line again here, obviously, yeah, go long again. But right here, I think you can't rule out that this won't be a failed breakout. And you probably don't want to take this one because you're still in the channel as well. But we run on up here. You might even argue there's a second entry here as well, but there's just not room to scalp out. It ends up not mattering, but you don't know that. So we run up here, and then now we're working sideways, and you get a little failed breakout. This is actually a second entry long right here. And these are 3-bar matching lows, so you can take any one of these bars if they qualify. This one does. And it was a second entry long when it broke above that bar, so you could still use this one as long as there's room to get out and just go long right there. Doesn't end up mattering because it takes on off, but you at least need room to scalp out before reaching back to your higher line there. And this one takes off again, so you may get another runner here. And it runs up, you get a close outside and move to a new high, and then they're working back. And there's another second entry here, but you're still in this down channel. You're not quite back to the trend line. You had an overshoot, so I don't think you want to go long there. I don't really think you can go short either. I don't think that signal bar qualifies for a second entry short. It's close, but I don't think it quite qualifies. And then you get your break, and you're just kind of chopping along sideways. You do get a higher low here as well, but just no setup. And it runs to a new high. And I didn't mark this one, but you could have gone short there on that. Technically, it's not a second entry. It's a first entry, second entry, but you get your close outside. And if you wanted to go short there, you could. I should have at least marked that orange. I'm sorry, green. I don't know where orange came from. I was looking at the color of my measured move, I guess. But anyway, you're working lower again, and again, you're in this channel. Just wait until you get a break in new low, and you get a break here, and you try to go lower twice, actually 3 times, because it broke higher there and comes back. So you can treat this like it's basically a second entry long when it breaks higher here, but that bar doesn't qualify. But because these are all 3 matching lows, you can use the next bar, and it does qualify. So you can go long right there, and I like going long right there because you're probably going to get another leg similar to this one. And it takes off. We don't quite get that measured leg, but it tries, and it just starts working sideways in here. You might consider going short here. I didn't mark it because it makes a higher high there, so you'd have to mark that one green and say wait and see if you get a lower high. So maybe you go short there. It is a second entry short as well because you got a new low there, but you're just working sideways. And you can see there you got just enough room to get out. So it's 6 ticks there. And it's I mean, this is at, what time was this at? 2:33. I mean, you might even be tempted to go short right there. It's only a couple of minutes into 2:30. I wouldn't go short much longer, or I wouldn't enter a new trade much past 3 minutes, but you might go short there. And that was it. This was a pretty good move up, but there's just not a lot of entries there, unfortunately. There's just not a lot of entries all day long. You can really see the volatility and the volume has dropped considerably compared to what we were getting. We used to get this many bars in a few hours when it was really volatile. So things are kind of settling back down now, and it's probably a more healthy trend. So just we'll see what tomorrow brings. Are we going to continue to push higher, or are we getting close to topping out? It's hard to say. So there's a lot of craziness going on. Just be careful. Always trade with your safety stops. I've talked about this a few times lately. You should always do that anyway, but it's just not smart to trade without trading with safety stops, and put them where they go, 1 tick above or below the signal bar, and don't risk any more than that. And you'll live to fight another day if you do that. If you move your stops or don't put them in there and you take bigger hits than you're supposed to, you might blow your trading account on 1 trade. And that happens to a lot of people. I hear people come crying to me every day saying, I don't know why I did it. I knew better, but I made a mistake. I blew my account out on 1 trade. And, they realize as soon as it's over, they realize what they did, but they didn't have that discipline, and that you got to have patience, and you got to be disciplined. That's where discipline comes into play. So make sure you stay disciplined. Put those safety stops in and put them in the right place, and don't monkey with them. Don't mess with them. Leave them where they go. Don't give the market any extra room, and just follow the rules. And you'll if you just follow the rules, it really changes. It really improves a lot of people's bottom line instantly, but they just can't follow the rules. It's hard for some people. They just can't seem to make themselves do it, but you got to try to do it. So Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you had a good trading day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.